What's good, man? Low Key, aka Illuminate.
How did you get your names?
Low Key came from my motorcycle club, Mongols MC. My sponsor gave it to me after I prospected and earned it. Illuminate comes from my big brother, La Brim. Free him.
Sweet. Where are you from? How'd you grow up?
Man, I'm originally from New York City. I was born in Spanish Harlem. My family from Red Hook, but we migrated to Staten Island. Man, I've been running around since I was probably 13, 12. Some of my family was on drugs. There was all types of stuff. My mom was going through issues. So I took to the street like any other kid. I got locked up, like I said, at 16. Was sentenced at 17 to an 8 to 16. I had shot something, and then I went up north.
What are some of the facilities that you've been to?
Wow. So I started out in Kaksaki Correctional Facility. That's like an adolescent, gladiator school. From Kaksaki, I went to Attica, actually. No, as a matter of fact, they tried to send me to Green, but I boomed something in Green. They wound up sending me to the port. From Southport, I went to Attica. From Attica, I went to the port, back to Attica. Then I went to Clinton. Man, I made my tour. I was in Comstock, Auburn, back to Attica. I came home from Comstock. I done been all over, man.
Man, that's crazy. I hear Attica's crazy. Can you elaborate on how it is?
Attica's a different world, man. Attica's like a castle, man. Like one of the first things I remember is the energy. You get into Attica, man. It's like I said, man. There's no green, there's no earth. It's just concrete and steel. You know what I'm saying? You pull up in there, you feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? But like anybody else, you just gotta adapt to it. You know what I'm saying? Attica's is a maxi max. You know what I mean? High profile prison. So at that time, I was wilding, man, and I was with everything, man. I signed up for all the smoke, man. So at that time, I just was looking for the homies, like, what's poppin'? I'm in the building, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So speaking of homies, I'm sure there's some crazy people up there doing a lot of time, man. What's some of the craziest people that you've been locked up with?
Shit. Oh, man. That's a whole nother... We could be here for days talking about that shit. But in Attica... I was with the serial killer. Francois. We was neighbors for like 2 years. Dead ass, man. We was neighbors for like 2 years. I used to give him honey buns, all types of shit, man. I had the honey buns 2 for $3. Dead ass. I had the honey buns 2 for $3.
Yeah. So
for like 2 years, man, like, sharing chicken with the man and all that. So like a year and a half in or whatever, they say, yo, the man got a visit or whatever. They trying to do an interview on him or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then came out that he was a serial killer, man. He was the dude chopping up bodies and shit, putting them in his mom's house and everything. So it was crazy. Like, yeah, that ass, man. Like, they used to let us out for the showers at the same time. And it's crazy because, like, I never asked him, like, yo, what you in there for? That wasn't really, he wasn't in that world I was in. You know what I'm saying? I was running around gang banging. I was turned up. You know what I'm saying? He just was a dude I programmed with. So it happened that we would talk and everything like that. But then, I found out he was a serial killer. That shit was crazy, man. That ass.
Serial killers and everything.
Yeah, that ass. That shit was crazy.
So what about any celebrities? Were you in there with like any popular people or any?
As a matter of fact, yeah. I'm kind of, I kind of gave him a shout out. I was with Junior Mafia C Gutter, man. He's a good brother. Man. I was with him right before the feds came and got him or whatever like that. We was in the same block, same company, man. At that time, I was a porter. But I got a lot of respect for the dude, man. He was humble. He was about his business. You know what I'm saying? I shouted him out on Instagram. He responded back. So I got nothing but love and respect for the dude. And peace and blessings to him and his family and everything,
Respect, dude. Respect. So you were in there a while, man. Let's talk about the transitioning out. Like, what was your mind frame like when you first came home?
Shit, so just to bring it back to where we was transitioning and shit. So like I said, shout out Freddie Myers, man. My twin Flip. We was in Bomb Stock. That's where I came home from. And basically, man, it's just like, when I started, man, I was a kid. And I'm coming out as a grown-ass man. So, through my walk in prison, I done met a lot of righteous brothers, man, that, you know, gave me some good books to read and guidance, and kind of like, you know, they kind of like try to walk you through life, man, you know what I'm saying? Because you come in and it's all about booming shit, you know what I'm saying? And then you kind of make a transition to different things and all that. So, you know, my mind frame was, I was confused, man. I was trying to still figure it out, man. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in there. All I knew was project shit. You know what I'm saying? So the transition is hard, but I was blessed with a good family. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, shout out Devil, man, because Devil went home before me. Devil was checking on my moms and all that, man. And I had some good people in my life, man. Shout out La Brim once again. I had some good people in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? So my family was there, my moms, you know what I'm saying? I got brothers, I got sisters that love me, you know what I mean? So I was able to walk through it. But upon coming home, man, this shit was like a splash, man. It's girls around, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Before I left, I couldn't get in no clubs and all that. There wasn't no cell phones. When I left, there was beepers. If you had a beeper, you was the man.
Who the fuck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning. Crack of dawning. Now I'm yawning.
You know what I'm saying? I come home, you got cell phones and all that, man. So it was a splash, man. It was on, basically. My mind frame was like, I'm going to get to the bag and it's on.
So when you were out, were you on parole or anything?
Yeah, actually, I had 4 years parole and shit, man. My parole was crazy, man. I still remember my parole officer, yo, whoa, Miss Huff, man. Miss Huff was all right, though. I ain't gonna lie, because she could have fried me on mad situations and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I came home, my first weekend home, man. R.I.P. Big Dan and shit, man. He passed away and all that. But I remember, man, I got scooped up by my big brother E-Man from out of Staten Island. I got scooped up. We running around crazy and all that. You know what I mean? And then I get a call from my mom's like, yo, Miss Huff is here. You know what I'm saying? So I had to scramble out. We wound up running to the hospital, making it seem like I was in the hospital. That's why I wasn't home and all that.
This all took place in the slums of Shaolin. It was the Rhythm, the Jism, Old Dirty Bastard, Raekwon the Chef, You God, Inspector Deck, and of course, the Method Man.
She understood I just came home from doing 12 years. She ain't fried me. She gave me a warning and all that. But the transition was crazy because half of my mind was into wanting to enjoy life. But then the other half was into trying to like be easy so I ain't have to go back up in there. So it was crazy, man. But it was a splash, man. And then on top of that, man, my second half of my parole was crazy because, you know, before I went to jail, I was out there booming shit. Like, that's a fact. So now that I come home a grown ass man, a lot of them cats that I was running down on, they still out there. You know what I mean? And they was never like that. So they not really trying to see me in the street. So what they was doing, they was calling my parole officer. They was blowing up Miss Huff. You know what I'm saying? Making it seem like I was threatening them and I was doing things.
What's up, Smoke?
No.
What you got on my drink?
No.
Don't lie.
So they wound up putting an ankle monitor on me for like 7 months. You know what I'm saying? And then I wound up getting violated. I had to go to parole court. I went back to the island for 45 days. Fought that and all that. And that was all because somebody said, you know, allegedly I was making threats and I was running down on people and all that. Allegedly somebody got poked up. But it was crazy, man. So I wound up beating that in parole court. I transferred to Brooklyn. My brother let me live with him in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And then I maxed out, man. And then I wound up moving to Florida and shit.
So who'd you know in Florida?
Shit, I got some family in Florida, man. But my aunt, you know what I'm saying? My aunt Vivian, shout out. I like to say she like my second mom's in the sense that she always was there when I made transitions in my life. You know what I'm saying? Before I got locked up, I had an opportunity to move with her back to Puerto Rico and shit, you know what I mean? So I wind up going to Puerto Rico, but I was so caught in the streets that I left without even giving her a heads up. And that week I got charged, you know what I'm saying? That week I got caught with the case I did them time for, you know what I'm saying? So I was in a transition, like I said, man, because like I was running down on things, you know what I mean? I just did 12 years. You know what I mean? Streets ain't fair, whatever. My mom's is an old lady, man. That's my mama bear. She an old lady. She was worried. A lot of people was worried. You know what I'm saying? And people ain't playing fair nowadays, man. People calling the boys on you. So I was in a transition of my life where it was like, okay, so do I stay out here? Do I keep booming at these cats? Or do I try to, you know, I never had a seed. You know what I'm saying? I never really had a girl. I mean, I had girls that I didn't, you know, laid with and all of that, but I mean a real girl, like a wife. I never had none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to move to Florida and kind of start fresh. So I wasn't like playing peekaboo with people and all that. You know what I'm saying? And my aunt let me live with her or whatever. So that was the transition to Florida. You know what I'm saying?
So is that when you met the Mongols?
Actually, so here's how that whole situation, like I was never into the motorcycle thing, you know what I'm saying? My older brother, Angelo, he got a club, man, Filthy Mad Dogs, man, shout them out. He got a club and stuff, man, him and Willie Will. So before I finished my parole and all that, I would always see them, you know, with their cuts on and they doing their thing, man, and they would be out there partying with the other bikers and all that, you know what I'm saying? And I actually seen a few Mongols one time. And I would see them motherfuckers on TV, all types of shit. I say, so anything I do in life, I want the best, man. Anything I do in life, I want it to be the best, man. So I would always mess with my brother like, yo, man, you know, if I'm going to ride with anybody, I'm going to ride with the Mongols, you know what I'm saying? So I had seen them a few times. I migrate to Florida or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And there was a brother who actually lived close by me or whatever who actually rode with them. So he asked me to come out, you know what I'm saying? Smoked out, we chilled or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And we built that relationship towards that, you know what I mean?
Can you elaborate on anything else about like the club life or the club or anything?
Here's the situation, like, I'm not gonna talk too much about the club stuff, you know what I'm saying? For the, you know, I'm not gonna put my brother's business out there and stuff like that, but what I will say is, if it wasn't for the club, it would have been a tougher situation for me to transition, you know what I'm saying, from out of prison and the street shit and all that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's some good brothers out there, man, that actually, you know, are focused and are willing to do the brotherly thing, man. And I say that if it wasn't for the Mongols, that would have been a tough transition. I probably would have been still running down on people. I probably would have still been, you know, putting motherfuckers in the trunk, all types of shit. But with them, there's rules and there's structure, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't all that gangland shit that these stupid motherfucking pigs be talking about. It's more or less a good quality brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? And I'm with a working class club, man. Like, you gotta have a job to even be a part of us, man, you know what I'm saying? So what I will say is that we the best of the best, you know what I'm saying? And those is my brothers.
Talking about transitioning, how did the whole Win thing come about?
Once again, man, shout out my twin, man. Shout out both my twins, man. Teflon Drum, Freddie Myers, Flip. You already know I love y'all. But basically, man, they had the whole Win gang thing moving. You know what I'm saying? Me and Freddie Myers, man, me and Flip, we used to be in Comstock, man. That's my neighbor. Like, dead ass, that was my neighbor, man. We used to talk about this shit. We used to talk about the shit we was going to do when we come home and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Looking at XXL magazines, all types of shit we used to be building. So he told me he already had the movement going, man. And it just makes sense, man. Win with the two ends, man. You know what I'm saying? Winning is non-negotiable. It just makes sense on what we trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And we loyal people. We about that life, you know what I'm saying? And it just made sense to click up with the family, man. That's my family. So shout out to you, JT, behind the camera, asking me these questions, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, that's my family, that's the in-house producer, you know what I'm saying? And it just made sense for us to collaborate, man. We got these shirts coming out, you know what I'm saying? We got these projects coming out, and it just made sense, man. Who don't want to win?
Speaking about the clothing coming out, man, talk to me about the whole idea of the Mel Murda shirts coming out.
Yo, free Melly, man. Free Mel, man. Basically, man, it's a disgusting world we living in right now. You got rats out there, man. You got a lot of rats out there, a lot of unhealthy people out there, man. And me being a righteous brother, I just feel like I got to hold down the people you know, that's living right, man. And Mel's solid, man. Not only that, that's the family. That's Freddie and them family. You know what I'm saying? So you got a guy who's always been solid, you know what I'm saying, in the struggle. So I just felt like I wanted to remember his name and his legacy, because you got all these other lames out here shouting out this rat, clicking on his music and bigging him up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even going to get into the lame old like that, but I just feel like, you know, as a movement and as people that live right, you got to shout out the real, man. So those shirts was basically to keep his name and his legacy going, you know what I'm saying?